Hi, I'm Labrada. In this video, you're going to learn more tips on how to motivate yourself to work out and eat right. If you enjoyed this video, be sure to share it with someone you love and care about. We can all use more motivation, right? In our last motivation video, we talked about reframing the manner in which we mentally speak to ourselves about the things that we do to reach our goals. We emphasize using the phrase, I get to, instead of I have to, and how this ties into the way that your brain perceives pleasure and work. Remember that motivation is largely driven by the pain and pleasure principle that we hear often about in psychology. The principle is that we're always moving towards what we perceive as pleasure and moving away from what we perceive as painful. Notice that the word perceive is being used here. I use that word because no two people perceive an action in the same way. For example, I love to work out, but many will tell you that they hate to work out. The key is perception. In this video, we're going to be discussing how to change your perception, that is, the way in which you perceive things, to keep you motivated. So let's start by looking at one example. You may not like to work out, but you sure like the way you would look in your bathing suit or your bikini if you did the workout, right? So change your perception from focusing on having to work out to wanting to wear the swimsuit or the bikini. Here's another example. You might tell yourself that you love sweets. And by keeping that perception, you'll stay stuck in a body that you don't want. So change your perception to something like, I don't like how those sweets make me look. I could wear those Oreos, or I could wear a six-pack of abs. Which matters more to me? Okay, let's move on to something else. Never give yourself an out. One of the worst things that you can do is to instantly stop being motivated, is to give yourself an excuse to quit. For example, when the alarm goes off in the morning and you say, well, I can always make up the workout later. Yeah, perhaps after work. Yeah, that's what I'll do. When you internally say that, you hit the snooze button and you go back to sleep. The reason that you're always on time for work is because it's not an option to show up late. You'll be reprimanded or worse, fired. And that's the very reason that you get out of bed every morning regardless of how late you stayed out. Since sleeping in is not an option, you never give your brain that option. With working out, you do the same thing. Convince yourself that's not even an option to sleep in. If you give yourself the option of an out, your mind will grab a hold of that excuse every time. All right, and here's another tip. Avoid absolutes and extremes when changing something about yourself. Instead, turn it into a lifestyle. The key is that you're going to be in this for the long haul, because whatever you do to create the change is what you must do to keep it. I started working out when I was just 17. And guess what? I still enjoy going to the gym and eating right. It's just part of who I am and what I do daily, like brushing my teeth. But people who try to use absolutes don't tend to stay motivated because there's no flexibility. Life requires flexibility because things change. There's last-minute emergencies that pop up. If you start with the idea that you'll work out 7 days a week, what happens if you miss a day? You'll be overcome with feelings of guilt and remorse. So be sure to understand that missed days can be made up the next day, and a missed workout isn't the end of the journey, it is just part of it. This technique works equally well when you're managing your nutrition. It works as well as when you're managing exercise, because in this way you don't feel deprived. If you attempt change using an all or nothing mentality, you're setting yourself up for problems. Let's say that you decide to cut out all your favorite foods. You do great for about 1 to 2 weeks, and then you start getting hit by all these cravings for the foods you haven't allowed yourself to eat. At some point, you're going to encounter a stressful situation. Somebody yells at you, you experience work stress or whatever. At that moment, your diet is over. You binge on your favorite food. And after the binge, you feel overwhelmingly guilty and you feel remorse for eating something you told yourself you wouldn't eat. After the guilt comes a renewed commitment to follow the program even stricter, to do better this time. And again, after a week or two, the same thing happens. So now you start inwardly telling yourself, hey, I've really blown it. I might as well really blow it. And you go completely off track. Think of it this way. If you drove down the road and you got a flat tire, would you ever jump out of your car and slit the other tires? Of course not. So what should you do with the occasional eating bad food or missed workout? Again, change your perspective by looking at what you do differently. Understand that small changes yield huge results over the course of time, so long as those changes are sustainable. A habit of small, achievable tasks can help build momentum and motivate you to achieve more meaningful goals. Additionally, having an accountability partner like a workout partner or a group like an exercise class can help you stay on track and be more motivated to achieve your goals and stay consistent. The underlying key, it's to adopt the narrative that you never quit or give up. Please share this video with someone you love and care about. If you've enjoyed it, be sure to subscribe and share. I'm Labrada, your lean body coach, and thank you for joining me.